Ladies and gentlemen, YouTubers around the world, welcome back to another How to Play FFA. I'm your host, Nasty888, and today I've got another one for you. Today we're going to be learning how to play the Delhi Sultanate in FFA. So, I'm going to use this game because I want to showcase a game using a different style of Delhi than you're typically gonna see, I guess, in some games. Like a lot of people use elephants, right? I really don't like elephants in FFA in particular because they are so slow. But so I typically like to use cavalry or something like that. But I also want to showcase the H4 landmark that gives you the food income because it's very valuable, and I'll talk about that when we get there. So we're gonna get into this game here. I've got a nice little spawn here on the river with some deer and some gold. Things are looking great. We're a little short on wood, but I've set up a little lumber camp over here just to make sure that we have some early access to wood. So, you always want to... The hardest thing for me as a random player is just remembering where to quickly click all my upgrades, right? Like, we always want to make sure we get those right away. I decided I was going to get a mill here. I opted for a dock instead because I do want to go for fishing boats to supplement my villager count. The main reason being it's kind of like having a second town center, right? Like you have bills producing here constantly, and then if you have ships constantly, you're basically getting extra workers quickly. We could just farm, on the shoreline with some villagers, but we're not going to be able to reach all these, fishing nodes over here, and we're also not going to, if we don't build the docks, we're not going to have access to that faster villager or economy production, right? So in this case, we're going for it, and we're scouting out a little bit what's going on around us. With Delhi, you can kind of place anywhere. It doesn't really matter, but they do also have the access to the berry bushes, which gives them plus 100 food that a lot of those civs, Ayubid, Abbasid, Delhi all have. So if you have berry bushes, that works too. These berry bushes are very strangely spawned, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but we do have a few berries there. But we do have a lot of fish and deer as the main, so we got plenty of food. We're not going to be short of food in this game, as you can see. And I'm gonna, as we move along here, I'm gonna talk more about that. But as far as aging up goes, definitely recommend the. Let's take a look at the landmarks here. So, I guess we need to go into the tech tree here for Delhi. So for age 2, I usually go with the House of Learning. Or sorry, that's not age 2. I usually go with the Dome of Faith. The Tower of Victory is good for infantry, but I want to go into cavalry. So they're not going to benefit from any attack speed upgrades. I think only your, I'm guessing that means melee units. It might also apply to ranged. So I'm not sure what it counts as infantry. I think ranged might count as infantry. But since we're going into cavalry, we're not going to worry about that. And then this is nice because it's an extra mosque, and then the scholars are cheaper, right? So we're usually going to be going for that. But you can kind of go either way on that one, depending on what you want to do. If you think you're going to go into an infantry heavy comp, that could be valuable. And also, one thing I'll note about Delhi is they're a civ with a lot of power in endgame if you're able to be isolated, if you're able to sit back and get there. But if you aren't, you're going to have to cut some corners and not get your perfect endgame, age 4, getting all the upgrades type of situation. What I like to do in that case is rush to age 3, get a couple of scholars out, get the upgrade to garrison them in your barracks, and just start spamming some of the men-at-arm Gulam units that they have. Let's take a look here. So if you need to fight somebody, if there's enemies close to you in FFA, I definitely recommend this build, which is going into the House of Learning, and you're gonna have access to these home blades, which are really good, as well as I believe there's one that gets them to have faster movement or sprint or something. Maybe it's on the blacksmith. Yeah. There you go. So you get forced march, which is really nice. Your units run faster. And let's take a look at the barracks. You get the amended arm. So you basically just get two. You can get just 2 barracks. Put your install your scholars into the barracks and speed produce men at arms, while getting obviously ranged armor, forced march, and home blades upgrades, and that's gonna do pretty well to say the least. I used to do this build in 1v1 actually, and it worked pretty well. Just to destroy your opponent. You just march gulams into their base, or men at arms into their base, and if you get them early, they're basically stronger than other men at arms. They do more damage and they can move faster, so they can really harass the work alliance. That's a great build for aggression. But for any game where you're isolated like this, which is going to be the case, I'm kind of isolated. You want to kind of rush up into H4. You want to get like 15 to 20 scholars out as soon as you can. Maybe pick up some relics. One thing you can do, if you want to play kind of safe but also focus on your economies, get a keep up pretty early. I haven't really tried that build out too much, but there's an upgrade on the keeps for Delhi, which allows them to produce like town centers and make more bills. So if you don't have enough bills, you can throw down some keeps, and the purpose will be twofold: one for defense, protecting your king and your base, and the other one will be to produce more villagers. So that's always an option. I personally like to just rush to H4 first, and then you can worry about that maybe right after you get enough for H4. We see there's only one sacred side of the map, and Teal's taking it, but we're not too worried. He's over here, and he's Jushi's legacy, so that's not going to be an issue. So right now I think we're pushing towards H4. We're about to throw down our landmark. Here it goes. So pretty early on, 14 minutes, you see we're already pushing into H4. We see that red is over here. We need to keep tabs on him, but we see he's in H2, which could mean he's getting aggressive on H2, because he should be going into H3. But then we see he hits H3, so now we're okay. He's fine. But getting a scout out always helps. I'm playing a little greedy here. Not very defensive. If I got attacked here, obviously I would just be destroyed. But I'm kind of betting on. I've seen red's age up timing, so I know he's a little bit behind. And I have time here. So what I'm doing is going into stables in this game. I'm going to be going into knight, lancers only. Like I said, I really don't like elephants. And the reason being is not just because they're slow, is also because I like to use my hotkeys for cavalry, infantry, ranged sometimes. And when you select all cavalry, it includes elephants, and they'll march information with your other cavalry, which I find extremely annoying. So I just don't like to deal with it. The other thing I want to mention is having this landmark. It's going to go up. You're going to see this probably go up to about 1,000 food per minute as we get all the upgrades in the game. You can even, what I'm doing is getting all the docks upgrades too, because those are going to count as upgrades as well. So we're basically trying to get every upgrade in the game to get this up to about 1,000 food per minute. And what that does is it gives you free income that's independent of your supply, which is super powerful in FFA. So what I mean by that is you don't need to tie, in order to get this income, you don't need to tie up any supply into getting it. It's kind of like a free income, right? Like relics, or, for example, sacred sites. A lot of dynamics with Rus and other civs that have free, Imperial officials kind of has some supply tied up in it, but for the most part, there's just, a lot of civs have these like mechanics that just give you free income without any villagers requiring to work, without any boats, without any traders. Something that doesn't take supply is extremely valuable to boost your income with, because that way you can focus more on your military, right? And we're on river here, so we know that this is going to run out eventually. So just boosting us with this landmark is going to help out a lot, ease that burden of, the transition off of water for us. We're just going to get a lot of extra food here. And so we can kind of delay our transition off of water and just kind of take advantage of it as long as possible. So we don't know really, I remember in the game, I don't know why Red did this, but I think it was a misclick. He thought I was a cheater for taking him out. He didn't realize he sent his king middle, and we had to explain to him that he indeed sent his king in the middle of the map for some reason. So poor guy, unfortunately. So now I'm trying to get across the river, and I realize there's nowhere to cross, but I'm just trying to neutralize the sacred site, which is down to a couple minutes left here. So unfortunately Red was on the sacred site, and then I killed him, so he canceled. So now I have to be the one to go in and put a stop to this. But we're looking pretty good here. We've got like 9 stables here. Tons of knight production. You can see we can't even spend, we're not making enough knights even to spend all this money, but we will be soon. And now we're throwing down all the other production buildings just because not that we want to make these units, we just want to get all the upgrades to boost our Hussar Academy so that we get everything going there. We've got 13 garrison scholars. We could do better. You probably want like 15 to 20, like I said, to get all your H4 upgrades. We want to throw down extra universities. We got 2 early blacksmiths and we're almost done upgrading here. But yeah, we can do a little better there as well. So yeah, now that we're in H4 and we picked up a free kill, which is really nice to have. That's going to supplement our supply. It's not going to take into effect just yet. But we're really fast up with elite knights, so we can exploit this advantage of elite knights. So you can see our opponent here, purple, doesn't have his knight upgrades in just yet. But we're just coming back. We want to protect ourselves. We're on the water here with our king. We want to get some keeps up. We're starting to get stone now, and we're going to throw down some keeps. And like I mentioned before, we can use that to supplement our villager production eventually, as well as protect our base. And there's some extra upgrades here that you want to get just to increase your Hussar Academy. And just get all those. Just make sure whenever you age up, guys, that you spam all the upgrades, all the economic upgrades. Get 2 blacksmiths probably in age 2, if not at the beginning of age 3. And just start spamming double upgrades really fast. We're going to go to the landmarks. Let's go back into the tech tree here. I didn't talk about H3 and as much yet. So this landmark, I don't really ever build this one. The main reason being the House of Learning has these key upgrades. Like even if you're not even like in this game, I'm not even really using any of these units, elephants or men at arms. But there's just some really nice upgrades here. Like if you ever make archers or crossbowmen, they get increased range. And just for the worker upgrade, carrying capacity plus 10 is great. Like there's really no reason to ever do the compounder defender unless you think you're about to be killed and you really need to like get a defense up quickly. You can get that, but I wouldn't ever advise getting this upgrade, or this H3 landmark rather. And then regarding the last one I already mentioned, of course this one is nice, the free elephant. If you're going into elephants, you can use it. But like I mentioned before, this is literally free income, which is so critical in H4. Unless you're on like a really big pond with tons of deep water fish and you're certain that you're never going to be threatened on that pond, then I would pretty much always get this one, right? Like this is definitely going to be insanely good to have, especially the longer the game goes on. And especially if you're population capped, you can free up some of your bills to get more. So we're getting up to 600 a minute there. It's a little bit slow. We didn't do the best, like I mentioned. We didn't do the best with our scholars. We're up to 15 now. Still could do better. Could have had those universities down sooner, and probably these production buildings down sooner to start the upgrades here. Getting our final blacksmith upgrade. But you can see we have a lot in queue here. We really need to get those universities started so we can finish those upgrades. Our docks got all the upgrades except one. So we'll see at the end of the game how much income we actually have there. But now we're gearing up to look to our next opponent. We want to see what we can do. We have 1 kill already, so we're not too threatened, but we do want to, since we're playing a knight heavy comp, we don't want to really let players get into that super end game, late game composition where they could just slowly move around the map and destroy anything. If we're knight only, it's going to be a challenge to fight any army head on if they're very strong with like crossbows, men at arms, spearmen, stuff like that. But we see that purple picks up a kill up here, and we know that means that his army's not here, so we decide to move in for the kill on purple because of that knowledge. And we do indeed find that he is kind of exposed here. His knights are coming home, but ours are better, ours are stronger. He's got elite knights, we've got all of our upgrades. Let's take a look here. So we have stronger knights. He doesn't have his cavalry university upgrade yet, it looks like. Probably. We just have way more HP. Better upgrades. Yeah, his upgrades aren't nearly as good as ours. And his numbers are also just dwindling really fast now. Trying to run his king, but obviously we're not going to let him do that. We're going to shut it down. So now we have 2 kills. Things are looking good. We know yellow's up here already, so we just figure, hey, you know, if you know that is an Elsbek, but I wonder if he's walled or not. So I think I'm going to try to poke up there pretty soon, and just to test him, see, test the waters and see, like, you know, I know he's the only one alone. These 2 players are obviously going to be fighting each other. We know that, we can guess that much, so we're not too worried about them. But you know, yellow is all alone over here now, and he's going to be the biggest threat in the lobby to us because he can just sit back and do whatever he wants. We're coming up here to collect these relics as well, and we see that there's no wall here, so we're going to try to push in and see if we can. Obviously, this has emergency repairs and it has a lot of melee armor, but he doesn't have his upgrade yet. So we pick up on that, and we're able to surround it and start burning it, torching it down. He does have emergency repairs, and he's out of position though, so even through emergency repairs this many knights, you know, I've got 87 knights here, easily able to take him out of the game. So now we're in a position where we have a huge, you know, supply advantage over the other players. It's pretty straightforward. They're obviously going to try to 2v1 us here, if they're smart. And at first I'm thinking I'm going to hit Teal over here since my army's already at this side of the river. But there's something I haven't realized yet, which is that there's a pathway down here to this side of the river that I haven't utilized yet. I think it's because Pink probably walled off. Yeah, he walled something off here, so if I click down here, my units are going over the top. And that's, you know, something I should have realized sooner. So now my units are kind of out of position, but I realize, eventually I think I see some path down here, and I realize that this is a problem. Let's take a look at our Historic Academy and see what our income's at. 936, so we're almost there. You still see we're missing a few upgrades. We're going to finish those up pretty soon. But yeah, we're definitely going to be, I think, over 1,000 by the time it's all said and done, which is great, because we are definitely running out. You can see my fishing boats are, well, they still got plenty of fish up here. I moved some of them, you know, to other areas of the map. They're doing all right, you know, despite everything. We don't even need that much of a food economy, even going full cavalry, just because we have such an easy, you know, income right here. It's great. It's amazing, right? So Pink is trying to rally Teal now to ally against us, obviously. But I don't know if Teal's a newer player or if he just doesn't know what to do. Well, at first I was thinking I was going to make transport ships and attack Pink this way on the river because I didn't recognize that there was this big hole right here. But now that we do, we don't really need to do that. But something we're about to realize here as we come back to our base with our main army is that Pink has a plan of his own, but we catch it right away. We don't have any ships yet to fight against it and to shut it down, but we do have all of our cavalry moving in. So Pink is going to try to unload here. I'm moving my king to my keep. And we can just see that I have plenty of cavalry here just in time to intercept all of his. And it's not going to be an issue. And now we're getting our boats too. So things are looking good. There's really nothing that Pink can do now. I think he's about to tap out because he just lost his entire army. My units are getting stuck here. I should move these cannons forward. Maybe make some more gates. But yeah, you can just see that there's really not much left for Tryhard Dad to do, and he taps out. Now we're going to try to rush down here and snipe the king before Teal can get it, of course. Meanwhile, we're taking Sacred Site, but Teal's already got some units in position, and he's going to neutralize that. But that was more of just something to distract Teal while we fought Pink. We didn't really have any concern about the Sacred Site for the moment. So we find that the king is hiding behind this wall, so we're sending our cannons down to clear it out. Okay, we're about to finish, I think, our last upgrade of the game here. Let's make sure we have everything. Yeah, I think all upgrades are now researched. So let's take a look here as this one finishes up. So by killing this king, we basically seal the deal. The game can't be won by teal, but let's pause for a second. 986 food per minute, which is freaking amazing, guys, right? That is insane. So that's what I mean, or 987 now. Maybe it's... Okay, it's going up because it hasn't been a full minute yet. Yeah, so it might go up to even 1,000. We'll see. I don't know why it just went down for a second there. That was kind of weird, but... yeah, something weird's going on there. 990 maybe. And yeah, this just shows the power. Delhi's a very powerful civ if you're able to just boom, if you're able to just, you know, H4 rush, get all your upgrades, and if you're left alone, you can be very vulnerable. So I definitely recommend getting some keeps up right away to help defend yourself. It can also help you if you do get attacked because you can repopulate your villagers faster with the extra keeps. But yeah, I like this playstyle. There are other ones. Obviously, you can go elephants. The strongest, one of the strongest units in the game is the elephant, of course. But for me, I like to be mobile in free for all. It's very important to me. I mean, if you get super late game, of course, having elephants is great. They're very powerful units. I'm not gonna say they aren't. I just don't like having slow units in free for all. It's very important to be able to move around the map and adapt to what the situation is. To flank your opponent, you know, to hit him from behind, hit him from the side, do whatever you want to do. Go after different opponents, snipe kings out, especially, right? If you have elephants, you're not likely to get any king kills, right? If they just decide to run their king to somebody else, you're not going to be able to do much there. So that's how I see playing Delhi, guys, in free for all is definitely with the mobile style. And also, like I mentioned, if you aren't given this fantastic opportunity, being isolated on the map, if there's players real close to you, definitely recommend that age 3 rush I was talking about with the men at arms, sending your scholars in to the barracks and just kind of running over any nearby players, and then you can sit back and try to push to age 4 from there. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Catch you in the next one. Peace.